but you can't talk to her because she's white, but y'all never be able to reach a conclusion because she can't speak on the problems or solutions. It's weird. Just to skip all the way back to the beginning. Yo, that mugshot rate, 7.1 million in a day? You even have rappers getting tattoos. Like, of this man's mugshot, bro. No option. Hey, respect to the, gangster, man. You love your boy Trump. I was just having this conversation the other day as well about how supporting Trump as a black person can be a little, you can be a little hesitant to even come out about that. Why? We've been conditioned in my Democrat days, I was conditioned to believe that, he was somehow against black people specifically. He was just racist and all. And there was nobody who forced me to go learn any of the information that I learned. I got curious myself, so let me go ahead and give myself some credit for at least being able to see through the matrix, just to tell, get curious about seeing through the matrix first initially, and then being able to move forward with that. But I said it to say, like, can that not be the case for other black people as well? Do we have to be told to be a No, let me guess. We got to be getting paid. We as black people, we've been conditioned heavily and been viewed publicly as being simple-minded. That's how they're representing us as they continue to portray us as victims. It doesn't mean that only black people have been brainwashed by, this left-wing ideology and all these corrupt media. But at the same time, we're waking up to the facts. We're not going to continuously vote for a party who's always against it. But not just exclusive to black people. You also have the fact that taxes are rising and going through the freaking roof. Everybody's bank account is getting dried up. These are everybody issues. But black people are seeing it just as much. These are issues that apply to everybody, no specific color. And it's not even just Biden. It's the entire liberal ideology that we're starting to wake up from. This liberal movement is going like way, way off the deep end. And it's a group of just whiny, spoiled brats who demand submission for their belief. I can't say this though, how the tables have turned. We see the turn because the way I view America, man, it's been a country where your skin color thinks for. I've always been preached to vote Democrat because I'm black. Since I was a kid, in the church, to the schools, everywhere. You clearly see Biden's poll numbers for the black community is going down. You see Trump is rising, but this won't matter. There's not a few ballots getting fixed.
Y'all out of order.
What's this?
Master Pepper.
You keep dog food in your fridge?
It's not dog food, it's fresh pet. Real meat, real veggies.
It's dog food.
You're so right about her. Small businesses are the backbone. They're the place where people know the people they work with, where you have family businesses that are more than just a place that do commerce.
Small business deduction is so critical.
It allows businesses to use cash flow for future investments, whether it be capital investment or investment in their staff.
Congress really needs to fight.
Microphones coming around to it, we'll get this underway.
If elected, what do you plan to do about CPS correction across the U.S.?
Corruption across the U.S. What do you mean by CPS? Yeah, so listen. There's a couple issues here. There's the easy stuff and then there's the hard stuff. The easy stuff is we need to enforce the law that we already got the books. We can put new laws, we can put new laws. We have laws on the books, we're not enforcing. So if I'm not trying to shut down the FBI, it's not just about rooting out political corruption. It's an institution that has failed to even provide security in enforcing the existing laws. We've been a lot better than that. We've done a lot of U.S. Marshals. Just going to shut down the FBI. The 20,000 back office employees reported to the J.H. Weaver building, maybe they'll home and find honest work in the private sector. But 15,000 of them on the front lines are agents. Could be specials. Or some of them didn't EPA took out the federal price with specialization. Even in the financial crimes, people that mentioned the Treasury Department will have the financial crimes enforcement network. This is actually how you reorganize that federal government. These are slogans to me. When I say shut down the FBI, I really need to get in there and shut down the FBI. But not because we're going to trade off the enforcement of laws. For example, I think the crisis that we have in the way children are being trafficked in and within and beyond and into this country, but to be much more effective in how we're actually addressing that crisis. And the U.S. Marshals hasn't also been politicized in the same way that the FBI has. This is the way to change. Now, I say for hours we talk about civil commitments, the important component here, enforcing existing laws are component here. Is that there's also a separate issue that we need to have the courage to discuss. There's a demand side problem in this country. There's a cultural problem in this country that I think is something we have to confront. I mean, most kids have actually been by the age of 12, so the majority of kids have been exposed to pornography by the age of 12. We don't talk about this stuff, but that's what we talk about. So we don't talk about that like it doesn't exist. Here's the answer to the truly most media social media is a big source of where perpetrators and child victims actually establish their first point of contact. My view is so many reasons to connect with them. Just maybe that they discover by the age of 18. Or not only to drink alcohol by the age of 21. You should not be using it in social media by the age of 16 either. And it's a lot to forget Snapchat. Just as a study that's what I'm getting at Snapchat. It's really actually setting up a lot of areas that we could really think of child traffickers. These are violent topics. It's public. I think having courage to confront the truth, the culture of sexualization, potentially by proliferating cancer media, especially with the youth. Having courage to actually be children should not be exposed to pornography and cultural hypersexualization at a young age. By the way, a lot of that's happening even to our own schools in the name of education.
That's great, but it's not to look only at the eye and it will protect the brain. And especially when it comes to the acts with your surroundings and what it actually means. Social media, but it's going to take the culture of other leaders, not just state representatives and legislators too, but parents, coaches, community leaders, standing up with a spine too against the culture of hypersexualization that drives some of the underbelly of the beast that is 50%
First, let's start off with a comment. I will do the date the other night, and we're going to talk.
Yeah, he said here in Chicago, he kind of corrected it. He tried to correct it. I mean, we're just so used to the mumblings, rumblings at this point. And Raymond, it's great to see you tonight. Thank you so much. I'm glad you're up and
Trump song, but this time his verse is Joe Biden in a rap battle.
Hello, Joe. Billy Joe. Say my songs now. Still rising, but
Hey.
But when you're thinking of loss, don't take shots. You're defenseless against like the Cubs.
Okay.
I'm sorry, this is my turn. My turn to rap. This is my turn to rap. This is your turn with all the war with China. That's the cat. Okay? China. How's even trying to also unrelated, but I'm not with China. So be there. You're a hack, Joe. Joe is my track. I'm sure it's a fair share.
Hey.
Invest in healthcare, like the climate we need. Security goes a far away, right? Worrying about the stock exchange. I'm not social, but you're down to also get people love my rally. You say you have to bring them in. Even then I have more energy than you. What are you learning? You speak what was it? You got a smaller train ready to be one small and I can't again. Did I lose? I will actually let you be. Sure you win this time you will not get impeached.
Alright, Joe. Alright, Sleepy Joe. Sleepy Joe had a few bars up in there, you know what I mean? And I get it was pretty choppy, so following along could be quite difficult. That's why I was trying to remain in the screen where you guys can read the caption. But Trump went home back. He said, look, man, these vicious against me. Let's go and talk about this China issue, too. Before we continue, I gotta ask y'all a question. Who do y'all think won that rap battle, though? I ain't gonna lie that I love vagina line. It took me out. Man, Trump just, he beating people on record, too. Now, my take is Trump actually made sense with it. But I won't sit here and act like Joe Biden wasn't throwing no haymakers, bro. He had no bars. Recently, Trump pulled up to Atlanta just to drop a $200,000 bond, bail or whatever. It was a breezy for him. And just to have a photo op. But the way she explains it is way better than I could.
And all y'all be talking about y'all gang. This man rolled up with all these people deep, flew in, rolled through the city. Deep. I'm talking about gang. Donald not playing. GOP. Donald like gang. Let me drop this. Ride with me real quick, y'all. I gotta take this ride. I gotta take this flight and this ride real quick.
Right.
Drop this 20 grand off to these folks since they hooping and hollering. You know what I'm saying? Look, this man riding through the city. Do you hear me? Do y'all not understand? Like, this is history. Like, this is crazy. I don't care nothing about what y'all talking about. I don't say, and what? You want me here? I'm in Georgia. What's up? Say something. I pulled up. I'm going to pull up on you, Fulton County. I'm going to pull up. He's going to pull up on him. He said, let me pop out real quick. Yo, this man came to Georgia squad deep. I ain't even mad. I'm looking on cars for days. Like, yo, security for days. Like, yo, y'all be talking about y'all gang. Y'all don't know nothing about gang. We even got the ambulance just in case somebody get hurt. Tell him, Donald said this ain't nothing but a little piss out lighter. Yeah, like, this right here, y'all. This right here, y'all. They got this. It's hilarious. I mean, he riding through the trenches like, yo,
Like
what's up? I dare somebody to do something. I dare you. Bust a move. Let me see if we can get Donald stepping out. My boy got on his blue suit, got his hair combed up, red tie because it's black. I don't even know, y'all don't do the crime, but you can't do the time.
Oh, man.
You can't pull up like Donald Trump. If you can't do this like this, talking about your people, your homeboys, your gang, your homies, you don't have nothing.
Yeah, I got one.
Oh my God. I just want to get, let's see. They just keep talking about all this crazy stuff with him. Like, at the end of the day, let the man just turn himself in. Let's go on. Let's keep this moving, right? That's just how I see it. Like, I mean, he pulled up gang. I mean, he pulled up on him. Like, they told him, I bet you won't pull up. Donald pulled up. Like, he pulled up, like, and I'm here. Either we're going to have a mugshot or we're not going to have a mugshot. He said, what? We're going to have a mugshot or we're not going to have a mugshot. He prepared for it all. Oh, we might not be able to see him get out. Oh, that sucks, because he's underneath the thing. But you know what, though? They trying to zoom in real close. No, which one is he in, though? He's probably the one up underneath there. Like, that's crazy. I'm here for it, Donald. Because let me say, you need to tell the people that hire folk now, I have felony charges. So if the President of the United States can have felony charges and run with felony charges, y'all should be hiring the citizens of the United States of America with felony charges. Because he's doing it. That's right. I'm here for it, Donald. I'm here for it, Donald. We'll be back right after. We'll be back around with Donald again. I don't think you're going to get a mugshot, y'all. But if he do, if he do, I'm gonna wear my shirt really proud. I think everybody should, because he's really showing y'all, do not fear the government. You just gotta go do what you gotta do. You know what I'm saying? That's how I see it. All right, y'all, we be back. Let's see if we get a mugshot or not, y'all. Okay, y'all. Thanks for checking in with your.
That was the energy for me, man. That was contagious. Trump didn't roll up to the city like a boss, bro, and everybody out who's claiming that they got gang, bro. Look, if you ain't pulling up like that, bro, that commentary was top tier. I told you I couldn't do it like that. I mean, I'm cool with what I do. I just heard on TV as a news anchor. Man, it would be the greatest. I'm gonna just say, I ain't never seen no former president have security like that. Pulled up like, yo, here go y'all money. Take this photo. All right, get on my face. I see a lot of Trump merch going around. I was even thinking about going ahead and getting my own little custom Trump shirt made. But you know, I'll go ahead and support somebody else. He has the establishment and these career politicians shook. And trust me, he gonna get his lick back. If he get elected, it's just crazy, man. Just to know so many of us are destroyed just from the lack of knowledge as it pertains to everything that's going on centered around Trump. And you know, a lot of people still hold this hateful ideology towards him just based off of what they've been indoctrinated, media induced with. Let's not forget, right after he did that, he went straight to Twitter and posted it like, it's crazy how they came up with all these bullshit charges to charge him with. Meanwhile, we got all these career criminals that's actually destroying our country with all these bribes and BS business dealings. Yeah, actually, that's the my president pulled up like it ain't nothing but a deep thing, baby. Trump has always been the boss. Let's not forget this moment.
Are you ready for some tough questions?
You don't ask Biden tough questions. I wish you would interview Joe Biden like you interview me. I watch him walk out of a store, and he's walking with an ice cream. And the question the media asks him, what kind of ice cream, what flavor ice cream do you have? He's in the midst of a scandal. And he's taking... Of course he is.
Come on.
Of course he is. It's the biggest, second biggest scandal. So the biggest scandal was when they spied on my campaign.
There's no real evidence of that.
Of course there is. It's all over the place.
We can't put out things we can't verify.
Leslie, they spied on my campaign.
Well, we can't verify.
It's been totally verified.
No.
Just go down and get the papers. Excuse me, Leslie, you started with me. Your first statement was, are you ready for tough questions?
Watch this.
Are you? That's no way to talk. That's no way to talk. I think we have enough of an interview here.
Trump said he wasn't having it. You know the media never treats people equally. If you on the right side of things, I tell the mainstream media got to her, they got to her. Listen, man, we just want our president back. Just give us our president back. Just wish American media would just start to be honest with us. She clearly doesn't want to acknowledge the hypocrisy. You can tell she probably getting paid by Biden. That's why Trump was like, Biden. I think she was only laughing because she didn't even know how to respond to Trump with him telling the truth and all. You can tell he caused serious emotional damage. Oh, and the savagery continues.
South Korea has done 5 times more tests than the U.S. per capita. Why is that? I don't think that's true. That is true. He said this morning that the White House said the U.S. passes South Korea in virus testing. What do you mean? Yahoo News. It's not true per capita.
Do you want to respond to that? Do you have the numbers?
So to our Yahoo gentlemen, I just want to make it clear that South Korea's testing was 11 per 100,000, and we're at 17 per 100,000. So
are you going to apologize, Yahoo? That's why you're Yahoo.
bitch. It was his expression when the dude replied Yahoo News that got me. Isn't it shocking to hear a president actually directly answer a question and, follow it up with that? And you compare this to all the softball questions they give Joe. Bro had them backs on deck, ready to go. A part of me is beginning to wonder if Trump actually thinks that guy named is Yahoo. And with the most powerful job in the U.S., bro, we need that confidence. I think people actually forget just how much he had to deal with the corrupt media. It's infuriating.
Since you're attacking us, can you give us a question? Go ahead. No, Mr. President-elect. Go ahead. Go ahead. Since you are attacking our news organization, can you give us a chance? Your organization. You are attacking our news organization. Your organization. Can you give us a chance to ask a question, sir? Go ahead. Sir, quiet. Mr. President-elect, go ahead. She's asking a question. Don't be rude. President-elect, can you give us a Can you give us a question? I'm not going to give you a question. I'm not going to give you a question. Can you state categorically? You are fake news. Sir, go ahead. Can you state categorically that nobody... No, Mr. President-elect, that's not appropriate.
Now, even in that exchange, it's good to see that he didn't even run away from the question, though. A little delayed, but he responded. Biden don't even care answer the question, though. Donald Trump been a boss, always going to be a boss, and we want him back in that office. Unfortunately, though, some people still allergic to the truth. Did I say unfortunately? Right? Anyhow, check this comment out. Look at the orange child. Ha ha ha. No, I am gonna cry. No, don't talk to me. I'm gonna cry. Now, what a badass comment, man. You definitely showed Trump extremely corny, man. But we live in the era of keyboard cowboys.
If you can't find your size, we'll order it.
Here with reaction, House Oversight Committee Chairman James Comer is with us. Sir, how are you? I'm well. Let's talk about these trips. Some 15, I think you've confirmed that Hunter Biden flies with Daddy. I know Peter Schweitzer makes the case in Secret Empires that 2 weeks after Hunter flew with his father to Asia and stopped in China, then the Bank of China, the $1 billion deal that became a $1.5 billion deal was struck. As far as we have been able to find, Hunter has no experience in that, just like he has no experience in energy. Do you believe that Hunter was enriching himself on these trips vis-a-vis the free travel of his father?
There's no question Hunter Biden was enriching himself and his family while riding on Air Force Two at the expense of the American taxpayer. But what's more concerning is what Joe Biden's role was in all of this. And again, Sean, this is an investigation of Joe Biden. And what we're doing now is we're putting a timeline together on all these bank transfers that we've identified, all the bank wires we're trying to now put in a timeline with communications that Hunter had with his father, with his so-called associates, and we're finding that now he was on Air Force Two a whole lot more than anyone thought. So Joe Biden's role in this family influence peddling scheme continues to grow on a daily basis. I mean, he was front and center in this. They can claim plausible deniability all they want, but I am here to tell you, Sean, Joe Biden was front and center. He met with every one of these people that he claimed he never met with and never spoke to, and we're putting together the timeline where Hunter Biden was traveling to many of these countries on Air Force Two while Joe Biden was vice president.
And now we know from emails from Hunter's laptop that the person that was in charge of money, Rosemont Seneca, Eric Sherwin, Hunter was asking, which account should I pay Dad's home repair bills on? Hunter said he gives half his income to Pops. Hunter complained bitterly about paying for those home repairs. Then we got, are you going to bring in Tony Bobolinsky and ask him about 10% for the big guy?
Yeah, I expect to see Tony Bobolinsky in front of an oversight committee hearing very soon. I think he wants to tell his story, and I know the American people want to hear the story, so we're definitely going to hear from Bobolinsky very soon. With respect to Sherwin, we've been trying to communicate with Sherwin, but look, Sherwin's going to have to answer for all of these transactions, and where you referenced, Sean, where Hunter Biden was paying for things for Joe Biden, in these accounts. These are the accounts we're now asking for. These are the accounts we're probably going to head to court in the very near future to try to obtain.
They have stonewalled your investigation the entire time. It took a long time for you to get the suspicious activity reports, the 1023 report. You had to threaten contempt of Congress for Director Wray before he finally handed them over. Now the National Archives is claiming that Joe Biden was using aliases or pseudonyms, Robert Peters, Robin Ware, J.R.B. Ware. And they're saying that you need to get permission from Joe Biden to get these pseudonym email accounts that are critical to your oversight investigation. And you're going to need Barack Obama's approval. That's never going to happen. That sounds to me like they're covering for Joe and they're trying to run out the clock so you can't finish your investigation. What tools do you have at your disposal to expedite this?
Well, I think there's consensus in our conference now that we're going to have to go to impeachment inquiry. Obviously, that'll be Speaker McCarthy's call, but I feel like we're there now, Sean. I feel like that's imminent, and I believe that that will be a tool in our toolbox when we go to court with our subpoena. Look, we've requested these documents. The House Oversight Committee has legislative jurisdiction over the National Archives. They've stonewalled us in the Biden mishandling of classified documents. Now they're, we hope they don't stonewall us in the pseudonym request. There's 5,400 emails, at least 3 different pseudonyms of Joe Biden.
Have you seen any of these 5,400? Have you seen any of them?
I've seen a few. Yes, I have. I've seen one that had Hunter Biden copied. And that's the most concerning thing. That's where the Democrats have gone stone cold silent in Washington in their defense of Joe Biden. There was an email that was to a pseudonym that was Joe Biden that had Hunter copied on it, and it was an email about Ukraine policy at the same time that Devin Archer testified that the owners of Burisma were squeezing Hunter to call Washington for help. And that's when Dan Goldman and Jamie Raskin said, oh, well, they could have called anybody in Washington, and I'm sure they just talked about the weather. That's not true.
I want to make sure my timeline's right. You correct me if I'm wrong. October of 2015, it became official after an interagency study. It officially became the Obama administration policy to give the $1 billion in loan guarantees to Ukraine because they'd made enough progress regarding corruption. The same year, 2015, December 4th, Hunter is in Dubai with Burisma executives asking for exactly what you mentioned, D.C. help. They called Joe Biden in D.C., get him on the phone. 5 days later is in Ukraine, leveraging $1 billion to get a prosecutor fired. Son of a bee, they fire the guy in 6 hours, and Hunter Biden, as a result, continues to get paid for work by his own admission he had no qualification of being paid for. Is that correct? Is that timeline right?
That's 100% correct, and that's very concerning. And think about this. That's what the first Trump impeachment was about. Donald Trump simply asking Zelensky what he knew about that. That was the quid pro quo. The quid pro quo was Joe Biden withholding American tax dollars to Ukraine in exchange for them firing the prosecutor who was investigating his son Hunter for corruption.
Last question. Are you investigating bribery and money laundering as it relates to the President of the United States?
Yes, that's our investigation. We know that the president's son committed money laundering. We're investigating whether or not Joe Biden committed money laundering, but we're pretty certain he's committed some pretty serious things that I think the entire Congress will be concerned about.
And 9 members of this family got paid through these shell corporations. You stated that fact. And we believe now you have evidence that Joe Biden benefited financially himself, although that's not even what the statute calls for, correct?
I think so, yes.
James Comer, thank you. Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox.
More and more about the Biden crime family. And I think it's only a matter of time before we see him and his crime brothers and sisters in handcuffs. I'm serious. And I know, for some it may not seem like anything will happen. It may seem like the rainstorm is always over us and it's never going away. But I think that's intentionally being pushed upon us, right? I can't remember if it was a short or a video. I think it was a YouTube short that I dropped, where it was being discussed that I think that's part of their agenda, to make the right feel hopeless and helpless, as if the end is near. But trust me when I tell you this, they're losing the culture war. They're losing. You see it all over the place. Look at Target. Look at Bud Light. Think of Sound of Freedom. Richmond, down in Richmond. In Richmond, north of Richmond, down in Richmond. Down in Richmond. That wouldn't make any sense because Richmond is south of Washington. But, which is why that line is Richmond, north of Richmond, the Richmond, Washington. But anyway, you look at all of these different instances of things going on, and you don't see them win. And I think they're panicking. Part of their strategy is to demoralize us, to make us feel as if we can't win. But I think we already got the W in the bag, and they know it. Like, share, comment, hit that subscribe button if you are new. If you would like to help me out even further with the YouTube algorithm too, watch this video to the very end. Now let's dive in.
House Oversight Committee Chairman James Comer is demanding that the National Archives turn over unredacted emails involving then Vice President Joe Biden, Hunter Biden, Ukraine, and Burisma. The committees are asking for access to a case record called Email Messages to and or from Vice President Biden and Hunter Biden. They're also targeting specific emails where Biden used a pseudonym, a different name, Robert Peters, Robin Ware, and or J.R.B. Ware. All of these are alias names, pseudonyms that Joe Biden apparently was using when dealing with business deals with Hunter Biden, allegedly, and his foreign partners. Joining me right now is John Ratcliffe. He is the former Director of National Intelligence and a Texas congressman. John, it's great to see you this morning. Thanks very much for being with me.
You bet. You bet. Always good to see you.
I want to first ask you about these alias names, these pseudonyms that Joe Biden was using. Why?
Well, I think you have to start with, Joe Biden's big lie here, which is from the beginning, repeatedly saying, look, I never talked about
business in Ukraine and Burisma with Hunter Biden, and we've seen evidence mounting that says just the opposite. You had whistleblower testimony to that effect, and then 2 weeks ago, Maria, you had actually testimony from Hunter Biden's own business partner saying, that's simply not true. Joe Biden is lying. I was there for at least 20 phone calls, some of those with Burisma executives, where Joe Biden did have conversations about that. I think what's most significant about this, Maria, and why this is such a big deal is the person that is now saying Joe Biden was lying is Joe Biden. These are Joe Biden's own records, and as you just put, these are the official National Archives vice presidential records, and the title of one of the email attachments that Jamie Comer is looking for says, Vice President Biden's emails with Hunter Biden, to and from Hunter Biden regarding, Burisma and the Ukraine. I mean, if that's not a smoking gun, it's a bloody knife. I mean, it's the kind of evidence that Jamie Comer ought to be looking for, and that's why he wants it. And so, what makes it worse is what these official records reflect, Maria, is why, to your question, why use an alias? Well, a confidential human source that the FBI describes as highly credible said there are 10 million reasons why Joe Biden would do that, why he would use an alias. Think about this, Maria. What that email says is that not Robert Peters, but Vice President Joe Biden, in his official capacity as the Vice President, is going to have a phone call with the President of the Ukraine, and the only person that's copied on that is Hunter Biden, someone that doesn't work for the government. And then it just so happens that that phone call relates to a person that Joe Biden brags about is that he leveraged into firing the Ukrainian prosecutor into Burisma, which is the basis of what the confidential human source says the bribe was for in the first place. I mean, if this were a movie, you wouldn't believe it, because it's just, it's so incredible.
Well, I think you make such an important point here, John, because Joe Biden has been saying now for years that he has no knowledge whatsoever of Hunter Biden's business deals, and yet there he is on an email with just Hunter Biden, and he's doing such an important phone call. And he's the point man for Ukraine. He's the point man for China and for the foreign policy in the Obama.
Allegedly, of course. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I have no idea. But you're on the phone? And it's not like it's the first time he's been caught lying before. He was caught lying some years ago when he had said that he graduated at the top of his class and all of this other stuff. I think I dropped a YouTube short on that a while back. But the news called him out. When the news actually did their job, when they actually truly fact checked, called him out on it. And he had to come out and admit that he lied. And then, of course, I dropped a YouTube short actually yesterday. If you haven't seen that, definitely go and check it out. But he was lying about Trump. He got up and said, have you ever seen him denounce white supremacy, the KKK, and whatever they're doing? Have you ever heard him say it? Have you ever heard him? And then, of course, in the YouTube short, it clips to Trump saying, I denounce, the KKK, white supremacy, and David Duke, and all of this other stuff. And it's just like, come on, man. He's a blatant liar, an absolute liar. Absolute liar. So I'm not surprised by this stuff.
Administration, and here you have all of these alias names. I mean, this is very suspicious, and yet the mainstream media will not report this. The lies have been going on since 2020, and when those 51 intelligence agents signed their name to a letter suggesting that the Biden laptop was Russian disinformation, you were the truth teller. And it's amazing to me that the whole media landscape went with all these 51 intelligence people saying that it was Russian disinformation, when in fact you came on this program and you said it yourself that it was absolutely not Russian disinformation. And what was most important was that you were a sitting DNI. Let's run that soundbite from October 2020 when I spoke with you for 3 years in March.
this is not part of some Russian disinformation campaign. The intelligence community is Hunter Biden's laptop. Hunter Biden is a U.S. person, and he would be subject to any investigation regarding fraud or corruption would be rightfully the jurisdiction of the FBI. So the FBI has had possession of this.
So John, I mean, this came up again with the subpoenas to the DOJ and the FBI from Jim Jordan. It's amazing to me that the mainstream media went wild with the 51 agents. They completely ignored a sitting DNI. You were the sitting director of national intelligence saying the complete opposite, but your name was not mentioned.
Right. Well, even worse than that, Maria, not only was I the sitting DNI, the official spokesperson for the intelligence community of the United States, saying exactly what you just heard there, but the DOJ and the FBI backed me up at the time. So my conversations privately with both Attorney General Bill Barr and with FBI Director Christopher Wray was around the fact that, this whole Hunter Biden laptop thing, we all know that the laptop is real. We know that the FBI, you have it, and that Adam Schiff and Democrats are trying to politicize intelligence that doesn't exist for political purposes. We all need to come out and say this, and I did that. And so why Jim Jordan is so exercised about this, and what Christopher Wray in particular is going to have to address is, why was he having conversations with me acknowledging the truth, and then agents for him at the FBI were secretly going out and saying just the opposite to social media platforms like Twitter and Facebook, and saying, hey, be on the lookout for Russian disinformation involving Hunter Biden. I mean, it's going to be hard to explain.
We know why.
Or to reconcile, those facts, and I think that's why Jim Comer why Jim Jordan is pressing this fact with these subpoenas.
Yeah, but John, let's face it, they don't care. I mean, they are focused on Donald Trump. I mean, you just mentioned 10 million reasons, right? And we know that remark that you just made refers to $10 million that the Bidens took in from Ukraine, according to House Oversight Committee members and James Comer, that one of the Burisma guys said, the CEO of Burisma said, well, $5 million to one Biden, $5 million to another Biden. That's bribery. The charges here are bribery, and the mainstream media will not cover it. Instead, we're seeing the heat on former President Trump get hotter. The former president now must turn himself in by next Friday for an arraignment on 13 charges from the Georgia election investigation. His legal team is now requesting that the trial on January 6th should be held in April of 2026. Special counsel Jack Smith says he wants the trial to begin sooner rather than later. He wants a trial in January 2nd. So, John, how do you square this circle? The fact that you're hearing bribery charges against a sitting president, and yet the media and the Biden DOJ is zeroing in and ramping up the heat on former President Trump.
Well, Maria, I don't think it's that they're ignoring it. I think it's that they're scared. Look, you have to keep in mind that they're all co-conspirators in this. They're all complicit in this. What I mean by that is, all of this stuff wasn't. It was the fact that the mainstream media went with all of the things like the Hunter Biden laptop as Russian disinformation. They promoted the 51 intelligence officials that were lying. They promoted the Russia collusion story. All of these things, and folks at the Department of Justice and the FBI, they lied to get FISA warrants to spy on the Trump campaign. So they're all. They were all part of this, and they're all complicit in this, and there's so much at stake. And if it unravels, it's not just political voters that will take the fall on this. It's people will see see it for what it is. And also, having said that,
they're scared because if this all fails, if they go down with it, they all go down. They know it. They're not stupid, of course. They're not stupid. That's why they're trying so hard. They know it. You know, now I'm not the most scholarly individual when it comes to law, but that sounds like a crime organization. You know, and as far as I'm concerned, isn't that like part of what a RICO charge is? You know, what they're trying to charge Uncle Trump with in Georgia. Maybe I have it all wrong, but that sounds like an organized crime organization. You know, maybe that doesn't qualify as RICO, but it sounds organized. You know, like a crime organization to me, if I do say so myself. But what do y'all think? Let me know.
These are the challenges that President Trump continues to face. You know, with these charges and the trial dates that are coming up. You know, the thing that I would point out to people here is that Donald Trump didn't run for president to run for re-election as president to avoid political charges, as some people are saying. You got to remember, he announced he was a candidate first. He became the front runner first. All of these charges in Georgia, in New York, both Jack Smith cases and the federal cases, they decided to bring charges after Donald Trump became the leading contender in the Republican nomination, which just really underscores why this all continues to be political and while it's all directed at trying to stop him from being reelected.
Yeah, I don't think anybody could really answer the question of how this plays out. Trump is obviously far and away the leading contender for the GOP nomination, but the problems legally are getting worse. He's already got 4 indictments, and now we understand that Arizona Attorney General Chris Mays has announced she's investigating the former president over the 2020 election as well. This happening just days after Governor Katie Hobbs told reporters that the state should press charges against Trump. So you may very well be hearing of a 5th indictment against Trump, and yet he keeps rising in the polls. How does this play out from your legal perspective, your prosecutor perspective, John? How long do these trials take? In other words, is it even feasible that he could be on trial before the presidential election? Would that be fair, given the time that it would take for the discovery process to play out?
Well, absolutely not. I mean, so that's really underscored just by what's happened this week. Think about this: is President Trump has asked for the trial date in the January 6th, which is currently set in January of 2024. He's asked that it be moved to January or April of 2026, which is reasonable. The problem, of course, is he has an unfriendly judge. But think about this: is the argument that judge is going to have to take up is the fact that jury selection in that case is supposed to start on December 11th. Also on December 11th, however, is a preview trial hearing in the other case that Jack Smith filed down in Florida on the Mar-a-Lago classified documents thing. So you have Jack Smith created this issue. He filed 2 different cases in two different jurisdictions, and now the dates are running into each other. And now as you point out, you compound the fact that you have the New York case and the Georgia case. Look, this Arizona, the possibility of another case there. I'll just say from a legal perspective, it's an absolute joke. I mean, the premise of it is what they're calling a fake elector scheme. Well, whether you like it or not, it's an alternate elector scheme. It's a legal theory. And if there wasn't any ambiguity, Congress, a democratically controlled Congress, wouldn't have come in last year and modified the Electoral Count Act for the stated purpose of removing any ambiguities, from the powers that the vice president had. So, people may not like it, but to take legal theories and try and turn them into criminal activities is just a joke across the board. And yes, I mean, these cases like the RICO case in Georgia and these classified information cases involving the Classified Information Protection Act, these are cases that under the best circumstances take years to present, and yet you have prosecutors who launch them after Donald Trump is in the middle of a presidential campaign and now want to, get him to trial in 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 months, which is just, it's absurdly ridiculous, and why at the end of the day,
like I said before, you can never trust these legal and lawyers, period, because they lie for a fucking living. They run their motherfucking mouth. They can't run no fucking business. Legal line lawyers never work for me and you. They always work for the fucking judge, and most of the time they become a judge too. And when you go do your own fucking research, you'll realize the Democrat Rats Party and the fucking Republican Clowns Party, both parties consist of legal fucking lying lawyers. Donald Trump is a fucking businessman. They don't like Donald Trump simply because of the fact that Donald Trump is running the United States of America Corporation for what the fuck it really is. A business. Them sons of bitches been running the United States of America Corporation like their own personal fucking piggy bank. And we are the fucking guinea pigs. We are the fucking stupid ones. The fucking sheep of the United States of America Corporation. Fucking shame. I can't say this more than I said. Brown men and women, women and men. Born a winner, 100%. You supposed to know better than to believe anything. You supposed to know better than to understand anything. You supposed to know better than to have faith in anything. And you supposed to know better than to hope for anything. Born a motherfucking winner, you supposed to always be thinking about what the fuck you doing. 24/7. Even when you go to sleep, you should be thinking about getting up and doing something. You was born a motherfucking winner in the need to know. Not no motherfucking make-believe, understand, faith, and hope bullshit. The second-class fucking people taught you some second-class bullshit and took your fucking first place and then made you third class because they made another motherfucking class and put them in the middle class above you. Damn, that's some fucked up, stupid ass shit. But it was done. It is what it is. Now it's time to change that shit. Now it's time to do some shit that makes sense for a change.
You know, the Supreme Court will have to impose some sanity as these things go up.
Yeah, all of this as we see evidence of Biden family influence peddling with 20 shell companies set up and 176 suspicious activity reports from the banks on the Biden accounts. It's just stunning. John, it's always a pleasure to see you. I so appreciate
the Biden crime family and his crime partners, all right, running scared. We know. How does that lyric go? Oh man, why am I drawing a blank now? Goodness gracious, I was just listening to the song yesterday too. The Richmond, north of Richmond, when he said something along the lines of, they don't think you know. But is it that? Now I'm second guessing if it's that song. They don't think you know, but I know that you do. Anyway, they don't think that we know, but we definitely do. They're afraid. They're absolutely afraid. And you see leftist media trying to paint the picture that Trump is afraid and, you know, he's a scared little boy now. The elites are afraid. They're very afraid. Because they see how people have rallied behind Uncle Trump. And that's why they're just throwing everything at him. We got to take this guy down. Because if he doesn't go down, we all go down. We all go down. And it's also a shame that you don't see any other
news network,
you know, Republicans really standing up to this crap.
News
right?
network.
You see a lot of the other Republicans just laying down and, you know, getting the spanking, right? You know, just getting the spanking. I don't know if y'all used to get whoopings when y'all were younger, but I know I sure did. Okay? And it seems like they just lay it down, just getting the whooping. And I'm like, yo, what are y'all doing? Y'all talking all this sweet stuff, all this good stuff, but then when it comes time to be about that action, y'all just... Well, we know next election, y'all know what to do. These Republicans who ain't stood up or said anything, who've just been hiding, y'all know what to do.
Vote their ass clean out. Fuck all the bullshit. I'm just saying. I'm Mr. Glass. 488. The truth is the truth. Ain't no bullshit. We just been taught to be bullshit ass fucking sheep, bullshit ass fucking guinea pigs. Made up by the elites, all this fucking bullshit. We push they shit because we don't know better. Naturally, supposed to know better, but don't know better because some fuckers taught us some bullshit. Wow. Love is the true light that's always on within me and you. Brown men and women, women and men. Naturally, you're supposed to know the truth. Now I'm talking to all men and women, women and men. In order to do better, you need to know better. Literally. Truthfully. In order. Naturally. There's an order to live in and live by. And until you realize the why you lie in the first place, born the motherfucking winner. You're supposed to know better. The creator within the creation. Stupid ass. I ask you the question just like I ask anybody else. How can the creationists give the creator a name? I'm asking you that there. Ask whoever you trust enough to ask anything to get an answer from that's truthful. How do the creations give the creator a name? I just want you to think about that one. Once again, I'm Mr. Glasses, 48. Might as well call me Cold Day for You. And Joe, and Love or John. Love or Hate John. I'm straight.